Hello everyone and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles Lung. With me as always is my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Gloth. How are you doing today, Jacob?
All right. Just getting through.
You enjoying your coffee there?
I am enjoying my coffee.
Yeah.
I've heard you got a fun pitch for us today.
I do.
That has a strange name.
I have a pitch. It's titled Human Meat! Exclamation point. There's an exclamation point at the end.
I'll probably forget that when I
Very
put it into the
important.
title.
The exclamation point is honestly more important than the rest of the pitch. But, can't talk about an exclamation point for anywhere between 15 minutes and an hour.
I hope you do. That'd be really awful.
So the exclamation point was invented.
All right, what's your pitch, Charles?
My pitch is about two young entrepreneurs in the dystopian future facing a food shortage, and they decide to market sustainably sourced recycled human meat as the latest.
Sourced recycled human meat.
Exactly.
Okay.
Organic.
Well, yeah.
GMO free.
Oh my God.
Gluten free.
Gluten-free.
Sustainably sourced organic human meat. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So there's our two characters are Mark Nebraska.
Mark
Nebraska, who is a resourceful, easily pleased, kind of happy. He's a good person. He's big, he's strong, he's the muscle of the crew. But, he's he's in the right most of the time. But he is willing to do some bad things if he's like, this will, help me. This will help my friends. This will be good for the world.
So it's ends justify the means?
Yeah, he's that kind of guy, but he's not willing to, shoot a child or something. He'll, screw somebody over in a business deal if he thinks that, okay. I'm gonna be...
So it's ends justify the means to an extent.
To an extent, yeah, but he's still a good person, quote-unquote. Good person. And then there's Fred, Connecticut.
Why, are you just doing state names or something here?
I like the idea in the future that everybody's name is just their first name and then the state that they're
somebody
from.
watched what was that movie with Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone? It was a zombie movie.
Zombieland?
Zombieland.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what they do in that movie?
Yes, it is.
Wichita is that one guy's name.
But I was taking this from, I actually did this in a previous show that I pitched.
I do remember you doing this before, but I don't remember.
In a good chunk of the sci-fi dystopian shows I pitch, people whose last names will just be the states they're from. I just like it.
It's because you're lazy.
And because I'm lazy. Well, what's a better future name for Frederick, Connecticut? Who is a high-maintenance, crazy smart sociopath.
I usually just look at books that are near me.
Yeah.
And then I remove letters or switch them out.
Frederick Gorilla.
Well, see, that's exactly what it says there. He has a book called Gorillas.
Gorilla.
I would just get rid of the G and it'd be Gorillas.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
And that'd be a
Freddie
it's
Rilla?
a new name.
Yeah, but I like Frederick, Connecticut.
Okay.
Because it rhymes a little bit.
Frederick, Connecticut, and what was the first guy's name?
Mark, Nebraska.
Mark, Nebraska. What are they doing?
Well,
Fred and Mark.
Fred and Mark. Fred is, like I just said, he's a sociopath who's willing to do anything to get his way.
Okay.
And he's not very physically strong, but he's a smart guy, he's resourceful, and he knows what's up. But he is very high maintenance. He was born into sort of a richer, upper-class family and has fallen from grace in these times of great struggle and strife in the future.
Poor him.
But he's... like I said, Mark, not willing to shoot a kid. Fred, happy. He'll shoot as many kids as it takes.
Well, you always do these really fucked up characters.
What?
Just saying.
It's a future.
I know, I'm just saying.
Everybody's fucked up.
You got a protagonist that would kill a kid.
Yeah. Well, one wouldn't.
I mean,
one would.
I understand.
Yeah, so Fred and Mark, we show up on them. That we haven't really established how they met.
Yeah.
Why they're hanging out together. I'm imagining it's a lot like a Midnight Cowboy, which is a movie, came out in the 70s. Very good. It's about a guy, he's big and strong, and he's trying to be a prostitute, and his friend is a little Weasley rat guy, and, they're buddies. So I think it's kind of like that, and they're living in the squalor shithole apartment in some huge metropolitan city.
Yeah.
We're not naming a city, but, let's just say it's New York. Just for how it looks.
Yeah.
Everything's huge skyscrapers. Nobody gets any amount of space to themselves. Everybody's cramped together.
Gotcha.
So they're,
Studio apartment.
Basically, they're a couple of bachelors. A couple of bachelors eating protein paste and electrolyte crackers. To get
electrolyte crackers, that's fun.
Yeah. So they go to the store and they get the cheapest food that they could get at the co-op.
Is water like expensive in this universe?
Yeah.
You got to get the electrolyte crackers to get your water.
Water is really expensive, so they put all the stuff that like keeps you alive in water into these really dry, flavorless crackers, and they put protein paste on it. So think of it as like Lunchables.
Yeah.
But it's dystopian Lunchables.
And the protein paste is like the peanut butter you spread on.
Yeah, and
the cheese or
whatever's in a Lunchable. What's in a Lunchable?
It's like crackers, meat, and cheese, but like they're little.
But they also have other stuff sometimes. You remember that Lunchable they had where it was like cold chicken and you poured a sauce on it and then shook it?
I do remember that one.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
I think the crackers, meat, and cheese is probably the best one. Or is it a classic at least?
It was fine because it just tasted. It was like a ham sandwich.
But it was little, so it was better.
And it was
because
easy
mini
to
stuff
eat.
is
And if
better.
you didn't like the cheese or you didn't like the ham, you could just eat the crackers and the other thing. You know?
Yep.
It was good. Lunchables, quality. What these guys are eating, not
good.
quality. Doesn't taste good. Tastes
It's
like
at least mini because mini food's better than bigger food.
it's little.
Mini food's better.
Yeah. But it's like, I'm imagining, when you go to a store and you get those crackers that come with soup, like you go to a restaurant, they give you that little 2-pack of crackers with your soup. I imagine that's what they're getting. They're getting like a little 2-pack and then maybe like a tiny, like a travel toothpaste tube sized thing of protein paste.
Yeah.
And, 2 crackers. And that's supposed to keep them alive for a week. And they're like sitting there in the dark, maybe they've got one light bulb and there's a TV going and it's just telling them how horrible everything is. And Fred gets the idea. He's like, why are we eating all this shit when, maybe a news story comes on about like thousands dying and being pushed into mass graves and all this stuff. He's like, why are we eating this shit when there's plenty of meat right out there for us to get?
Yeah.
And Mark's like, well, Fred, that's kind of fucked up, don't you think? And Fred's like, listen, man, it might be a little fucked up, but I'm tired of eating this shit. And he like smashes the electrolyte crackers, and they come apart. And maybe they like spark or something, like something that food's not supposed to do. Like he throws it on the ground and it like kind of pops like those like little, things that you throw on the ground. They go bang.
Yeah.
They scare everybody. It's like that. It just kind of fizzles. And he's like, look at that. That's not fucking food, mate. And, he pours the
Mate, is he British?
Maybe. Okay. Maybe it's kind of like in the future, all languages and all cultures are kind of
the same.
Sticking together. Like in Firefly. So maybe he's saying some, Chinese Mandarin words. Maybe he's dropping some Spanish in there. I don't know. We can figure this stuff out later. I'm just getting the basics out there. They're tired of eating electrolyte crackers. Fred's like, you know what? We're gonna get some fucking human meat. And so, that's how the first...
Roll credits.
That's how the first episode ends.
Yeah.
Fred's decided that they're going to start this company, Human Meat, and they're gonna sell sustainably sourced human meat to the people. And Mark is like, okay, I guess. He's, following along because he doesn't want his friend to get hurt or, go to jail or anything.
Yeah.
And so, second episode starts. Fred has just arrived. He's pulled up with this huge truck and like an excavation truck. And he's got all this, infrastructure, like a meat locker or whatever in the city. And so, the episode starts with them being, Fred and Mark are going to...
How do you get the money for this stuff?
All will be revealed, my friend.
Okay, I thought maybe there wasn't an explanation.
But
there is.
So they're taking, they're going to the mass graves. They're digging them up. They've got like this huge excavator machine that takes all the bodies.
Yeah.
Pushes it in the back of the truck. Fred drives it to the, secret meat locker in the city. Because at this point in the dystopian future, human bodies are considered like waste, It's as useless as feces. It's the same idea. So he's
Okay.
like, whatever. And there are all these guys in the meat locker, and they all speak Russian. They're all speaking languages that Fred and Mark aren't fully up to date on.
Yeah.
But Fred like shakes the main guy's hand, points to the truck, you know. Maybe he says some things in a different language, and is like, yeah, sounds good. And you know, they start unloading and chopping up and, you know, converting all of these dead bodies into
like food. Yeah.
like packaged like bologna.
Yeah.
I'm imagining, you know. It's like real
Like Lunchables.
Yeah, Lunchables, but it's people.
It all becomes full circle.
Yeah, and so
It all comes full, not becomes full circle.
this all becomes full circle.
Yep.
And I'm imagining at the this is probably taking the whole episode, in the end of episode 2, because this show is kind of like my satire of advertising and, you know, modern advertising culture. So the second episode ends with the first human meat commercial.
Yeah.
Which is going to be like this weird, kind of surreal, odd, futuristic thing where they're like, you know, GMO free, organic, and they have like these, you know, giant green fields with just people running around naked. They're like, living free, no cages, and all this stuff. And they're like, yeah, look how delicious they are. And they have Fred on the main thing, and he takes a bite of his sandwich. He's like, just tastes so damn good.
So they're really open about it being human meat.
Yes.
Okay.
It is human meat.
I thought maybe it was gonna end up being like they're lying and saying it's like something else.
No. It's human meat. That's what it's called. Everybody knows and everybody loves it. They're all about it. They're all yum 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 yum.
So where does the show go from there?
So
it's human meat. Everyone knows advertising.
The second
Cool.
episode ends with the, you know, first commercial. Third episode starts. Human meat is becoming, you know, increasingly popular.
Yeah.
More and more grocery stores all around the city are starting to carry it. You know, maybe there's some sort of, you know, secret business that Fred is engaged in that's making human meat more popular, if not by legal means, you know? So it turns out,
Like forcing people to put it in stores and like
hire, you know, he made a deal with the mob to get all this infrastructure
yeah.
to, you know, make the human meat, and now he's, you know, paying dividends to the mob, and they're getting his product all around the city. And Fred and Mark are becoming, you know, increasingly wealthy, and Mark's really happy about this. He's like, yeah, man, you know, people are being fed, we're getting rid of, you know, waste, you know, we're making money, everything's good. And then, you know, maybe he notices Fred's being a bit offish, and this is where the show kind of veers a little bit away from the whole company of human meat, because it's kind of being run by Fred and his mob associates, and kind of veers more towards Mark investigating Fred. So maybe he, you know, tails him, he spends the day with him, he goes to his computer, you know, finds out that he has been working with the mob, and that some, not all, but some of the human meat that they've been selling is people that the mob didn't like very much and needed to make disappear. And so...
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So they're killing live people rather than just taking people that died naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Because they need to, you know, keep up the supply.
Yeah, exactly. They need to keep up the supply, and there's only so many bodies in these mass graves that haven't decomposed yet.
Yeah, because you need, well, like if you only got like 3 days or something before it's non-usable meat.
Yeah, and then, you know, Mark...
Probably less than that, honestly. It's
probably like a
a
day.
couple hours.
Day max. If you're keeping it cold, a day.
Yeah.
But, and Max, you know, this, you know, kind of, he's freaked out, but he's not all the way, like, completely horrified. You know, he had his suspicions that there maybe wasn't 100%, you know, 100% legal stuff going on, but he's like, the government, like, fuck the legal system. This legal system has ruined the world so much that we have to fucking eat people. Why should I care about what they say? And that's when we get another commercial for human meat. It's got higher quality, you know, higher production value.
Oh no.
Maybe we get like an actor, like a famous actor, like
Kevin Bacon.
We get Kevin Hart. we get him in there. He's like, "Come on, man, eat the human meat. It's delicious." and he's doing a push-up or whatever Kevin Hart does. He's telling a joke.
And you cut away from it, like in the studio, and he like vomits the meat out. And he's
Yeah.
like, God, that was disgusting.
And he, you know...
Send me my money, and then goes to his trailer.
And then he, you know, he makes somebody carry him to his trailer. He makes a huge guy carry him to his trailer. He's like, put me down, you swine.
He's like, Felipe, up.
Felipe. And he, like, picks him up, puts him on his shoulders, carries him. I think Kevin Hart would do that. That's funny. But yeah.
Our future Kevin Hart will.
Well, oh yeah, for sure.
If Kevin Hart currently doesn't, future Kevin Hart will.
Yeah, when he's got a robot body. In the future. So, and that's, you know, halfway through episode 3.
Yeah.
Second commercial plays. You're getting the sense that maybe Mark and Fred are kind of getting on the same page with, you know, the whole mob stuff. And Mark's like, I'm not all the way cool with it, but they are mob people.
Yeah.
I don't really give that much of a shit. And so the ending of the third episode is Fred, you know, still being tailed by Mark, because Mark's like curious about what's going on, and Fred, you know, going to and like systematically assassinating all of the mobsters that he originally made his deal with.
Oh, it's like that scene in Breaking Bad where he gets everyone in the prison killed.
But he's like blowing up houses.
But it all happens in like a cool montage at the same time, because they need to happen at the same time.
But it's like people's families and shit. This isn't just mobsters. This is like crossing a line.
It's just like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
No difference.
Just like Breaking Bad, we're gonna get Bryan Cranston. Breaking Brad. Hey dude, what's up? It's me, Brad.
And Bryan Cranston to play
Brad.
The main guy. What's his name?
Fred. Yeah, and that's how the third episode ends, with Fred, you know, killing all of these people and their families, and Mark being like absolutely horrified. Fourth episode starts.
Yeah, this is just like Breaking Bad.
New commercial, human meat, now international brand, government contracted company.
Oh crap.
They are making so much money. It is a multi-million dollar company at this point.
Yeah.
And it's now, instead of just being sold in grocery stores and stuff like that, there are HM restaurants. You know, there's human meat restaurants.
Oh, so you can be like, would you like the human meat burger?
Yeah, exactly. But it's like a McDonald's.
But it's like in like okay. Yeah.
It's not fancy. It's like drive-through. But you know, it's full. And you know, the Fred has organized and negotiated this commercial with the government, or this contract with the government, in order to like, they're going to be funding him.
Wait, just for a sec, real quick. Can we have future Chick-fil-A, instead of having the eat more chicken thing, they have eat more people?
Eat more people. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
Or like some other restaurant, you know, has like that same joke.
Yeah, I get it.
Eat more people.
Eat more people.
That's like the slogan of our place.
I like it. I dig it.
And they have, what's their animal mascot?
A cow. No,
chicken. Can't do it. Chicken, eat more
Actually,
people.
no, because maybe some of these animals are extinct. So.
What's a popular animal that they eat in this universe? What's like the big animal they eat?
These algae that live on the bottom of the ocean.
No, it's got to be something like
huge masses of algae that all live together in these huge colonies on the bottom of the ocean.
It's got to be an animal that's like, what's an animal we have a lot of? We have a lot of rats, right?
Maybe
it could be a little cute rat.
Yeah.
And it could be like, eat more people.
Eat more people.
Because maybe that's that's like the big like poor person meat in this universe is that they eat rats.
Yeah. Or cats. I think it would be good if we got them to start eating like animals that used to be pets, but you know, up to you.
I mean, it's up to everyone.
And rats are.
I think a cute rat would be cool. As the mascot. Yeah.
So our boy Mark is, you know, obviously still pretty nervous about what Fred's up to, but he's like, I'm in too deep. This is a government contract. I know that if I even talk to him about getting out of this, he's gonna.
What does he do for the company?
Because
it seems like the other guy does all the work, but he somehow gets the money still.
He's like the kind of head, like the face, you know.
But he doesn't. The other guy does
doing a lot. He's okay. Think about it like this.
Is he Steve Jobs? The other guy's the other dude.
Yeah.
Tim Cook?
Tim Cook? No,
that's
Tim
the same,
Apple.
right?
Steve Wozniak. Yeah, he's Steve Wozniak.
Who's Tim?
Tim Apple is the guy who runs Apple now. That Steve Jobs is dead. Steve Wozniak was the guy who made all the
computer.
Cool Apple
okay,
stuff.
So Steve Wozniak's the other dude, and we got
Steve Jobs. He's like, I'm just a simple country farmer boy. My name's Mark Nebraska, and I'm coming to you with this brand new fantastic food me and my friends up at the lab have invented. Some human meat. HM for your belly. Eat more people, or whatever. He's got this sort of folksy, nice. He's
got a pet rat named Bippers, and he's in all the commercials. He's a pet animated rat, like the Geico from the gecko from Geico.
But they don't know how rats really work, so he puts it on his shoulder like a parrot, and it's like
a CGI.
It's like, say hello, Pippers. Hello, Pippers. But it's a fucking rat, and it doesn't know how to talk.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. It's the future, man. So, episode 4, our boy Mark is like scared as shit, but he's still the face of the company at this point. Like, he's still the old folksy, kind of guy. So he's trying to weasel his way out of this position that he's been put into. And, he's doing some espionage, some industrial espionage, some, investigating. He figures out that the U.S. government has made this contract with Fred and Human Meat in order to get rid of people they don't want anymore. And so
I see.
They're basically doing what the mob is doing, but on a much larger scale.
It's like political dissidents,
political prisoners, people they don't want coming into the country, refugees, people seeking asylum, anyone they don't want.
Yeah.
Is getting funneled into these. Obviously, we're gonna make it very
abattoirs.
Yeah, some obvious Nazi, imagery is going to be there. They're all going to be going into camps. There's going to be trains. It's going to be, it's meant to be really fucked up.
Well, you could go like hyper capitalistic with it and have like conveyor belts. They like put them on and strap them down into, and that's where they get chopped up and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty good. So that's how it ends with, Mark realizing that Fred has gone fully over the deep end.
Yeah. And
that he's feeding thousands upon thousands of innocent people to other thousands upon thousands of innocent people every day.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark's like, fuck. And he realizes he has to talk to Fred about this.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred isn't like he's around, we hang out with him, we talk with him, he's about, but you can tell he's becoming more distant and becoming less interested in humanity and more interested in money.
Yeah.
Money.
Maybe you can slowly see his progression change in personality and in attire.
Yeah.
So he's probably like really simple speaking and dressing man originally.
Mm-hmm.
And you can slowly see over the show just to like show the
he starts wearing a monocle.
His personality change.
Yeah.
He has like fancier clothes. Maybe he does have the monocle.
Yeah.
And then he's got the way he speaks is suddenly more elegant or
he's trying to impress all the people
fancy.
that are around him. Yeah. Because I think it would be interesting if they both came from I already said Fred came from a good he came from a middle class background, but he always wanted to be upper class. Like he was always very envious. So that's kind of one of the things that's pushing him. And so episode 4, it ends with a commercial for Human Meat.
Got a lot of commercials in this show. I do.
I
like it.
I think
commercials are fun.
Yeah, I think it will be good.
I mean, they're not actually fun in real life.
But these ones will be fun.
Fake commercials.
Because we'll have them be like weird, and they'll be doing all sorts of weird experimental stuff. And it'll just be obvious. We'll have just cut from the camps where they're feeding like thousands of innocent people these grinders.
And you could do like
a farm, and there's like happy people running around.
Yeah, it could be like a Fox match cut where you like show the two, back to back.
Yeah.
But it's not a perfect match, obviously, because one's awful, one's great. So we get this nice juxtaposition between the two.
Maybe like one it's like somebody's being, like their arms are being ripped off their body. They're like, and they put their arms out.
And
like
it cuts,
this.
and it's like them just running through a field with
somebody's
arms out.
standing like this in like a beautiful wind. And there's like, you know, they slowly pan out, and as they pan out, the person like ages slowly and they die. And then, you know, they show the human meat truck. They come, pick her up, throw her in the back, and that's your lunch. Yum, yum, yum. And so...
Pick her up, throw her in the back, and that's your lunch. Bum,
yum, yum, yum.
Bum, bum.
Yep.
We have a nice jingle new jingle every episode, but it's like a similar sound.
Yeah.
Like we have the same notes, but it's played like with different instruments.
Yeah.
And it slowly increases in production value. So like the first time you could have like a guitar just doing it. Mm-hmm. So it's just like dum dum bum bum.
And the last time.
It's like a whole orchestra. Yeah.
That'd be rad. That'd be so cool. And the last episode, because this is only a 5-episode series. I'm making it.
Wow, this is short. British. I didn't say that. Come on.
Yeah. It's like it's out an hour episode each time, and I'm thinking it's very British style. British. 5 episodes, beginning, middle, end. I think that's the best way to do this because it's, you know, a story I have an ending for actually. So
I'm proud.
Fred and Mark.
It's a tear coming down my face.
Yeah, I could see it.
He's got an ending.
It's, you know, they finally get into it and they start screaming at each other, or Mark starts screaming at Fred, and Fred's obviously, he's like this detached sociopath who's like, and he's just more focused on quarterly earnings and reports and stuff. And as, you know, Fred and Mark are having this argument, it's revealed that human meat has gone international, baby. It is an internationally traded corporation with...
So it's gone public?
Yeah. It's gone... Or not internationally traded. It's an international corporation with restaurants,
started
products...
a branch office in China.
On every continent.
Yeah.
Like this is... And they've got, you know, contracts with every major government. They've got contracts with the UN, all this stuff to get rid of people that the government doesn't want anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, Mark is kicked out of human meat. You know, but Fred just can't.
He got Zuckerberg.
He got Zuckerberg, but he just can't. Fred can't bring himself to kill this guy who he's the only person who's been with him this whole time.
Yeah.
You know?
His only friend.
This is one of the few times that Fred shows any amount of, like, humanity, I think. But it's like, this is the guy, he's had his back this whole time. And he just can't, you know? And he's, you know, after he realizes he can't kill Mark, Mark runs away. And Fred's just has this, like, moment. And it's like, I am a person. I'm like a human being. I'm not just a monster. And then he realizes, like, how many millions of people he's directly or indirectly killed. And he's like, he, like, breaks a little bit. You can kind of see it. He breaks. His mind just snaps a little bit. And as he, you know, that happens, Mark, this becomes an investigative journalism story. You didn't expect that.
Damn, no, I did.
Mark teams up with this journalist.
You wrote it. I can tell it's going this way.
to find and release all the information about the human meat. And luckily, you know, they've got camera footage and, you know, Mark knows all the passwords and everything. So they get everything, you know. There are a few close calls. They almost get caught by the man, but they release everything to the public.
Yeah.
You know? It's a whole thing. And everybody's like, oh my God, what the hell? And 3 months later, hard cut, 3 months later, Mark and the investigative journalist are dead.
Oh, okay.
Fred is sitting in his...
Is this the next episode, or is this the same episode?
This is the same episode.
Okay.
Mark and Fred are sitting... Or Fred is sitting in his, you know... Or Mark and the investigative journalist are presumed dead. Missing. You know. Fred is sitting in his huge penthouse apartment. You know? And smoking a cigarette, looking out at the city that's, you know, inspired him. And you can see, like, maybe it's a giant billboard, maybe it's a reflection. It's like a human meat commercial. And they're like, yep, we have camps. Still tasty, though. Eat up. And, like, human meat's stocks are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit that they're eating people that are, like, alive. They don't care.
They just want food.
They just want food. And, you know, it's just Fred staring at smoking a cigarette. And he's like, his mind's broken. Because he's just realized just the... And then ending credits. And I think a song, Don't Fear the Reaper by the Blue Oyster Cult. Pretty good. Pretty good ending song.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's my...
I think a cool way to show that, by the way, because you want to show him and the commercial, and you could have, like, the audio of the commercial, and, like, him, so you have a video of him from the other side of the glass, and on the reflection of the glass, you can see the commercial that he's looking at, because it's, like, you know, it's down the streets, but it's, it's reflecting on that glass. So you can see it by also seeing his reaction to it while he's smoking the cigarette. And I think it just, like, one just long take, like, slowly zooming into his face. Yeah. And probably, like, ending on his lips with the cigarette. And as he blows and as you see, like, but it's, like, it's all the other blows of the cigarette were sort of just, like, concentrated forward, but this one's sort of like a sigh, and you can see it, like, drifting down. Yeah. So you get, like, a feeling that he's, like, he's done. Tired. He's done. And cut. Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper plays. Ending show. Post-credit scene. Mark and the investigative journalist lady, who I haven't come up with a name for, are... you cut to a family in Michigan. They're in their mid-40s. They're some overweight people, you know? Yeah. Something like that. They're driving through in their minivan. They go through the human meat drive-through. They get, you know, a meal. Or 3 meals or whatever. And they're like, go park in a parking lot. Somebody takes a bite of their burger, and they like pull out maybe Mark had like a golden tooth or something, or an earring. Yeah, something that signifies it's him. Yeah. And he's like, well, that's gross. I think I can get a free burger for that, right? Yeah. Gross. And then takes another bite. Yeah. And that's the end. That's a good post-credit scene. I like that. Yeah. All right, that was a good show, Charlie. Thank you. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I wrote most of it down. I saw the sad ending coming from a mile away because you wrote it. I could tell. I was like, there's no way this sounds good. And it's a satire about advertising. Yeah. There's no way it's going to end well. Well, I know I was saying I can see it just because you wrote it. I was like, there's no... I think if I was doing this, it's going to end good. It's going to end happy. But I know because you wrote it, it's going to end sad. It's going to end sad, baby. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thank you all for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I have been your host. Charles Lang with me, as always, has been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Cloth. Thank you very much for coming here, Jacob. Thank you very much, listeners, for listening. I think you do so well. If you liked what you heard here and you want to hear more, give us a subscribe, like, a subscribe, a like, a follow. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies. We don't care. Tell anybody. Tell your dog. Just tell someone. Tell someone. Please. Next time you're on the bus, say, hey, I am in this really good podcast. It's called the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. And if I can make a quick apology, I'm sorry if I wasn't able to cut out all of Charlie's chair squeaks. I'm sorry, too. It's a new chair. It's squeaky.